Victor Wembanyama is the most hyped NBA prospect since LeBron James, and maybe he's even more hyped than that. So how good he actually is, where the media is lying to you, and where they are telling the truth. Let's get into it. Victor Wembanyama last season for the first time in his career tried his luck in the EuroLeague, while playing for Lyon as well, in France. He quickly found out that the EuroLeague is a completely different animal than anywhere he played before, as he struggled quite a bit offensively. He averaged 6.5 points on 37% shooting from the field in 17 minutes of play. Granted, we have to understand that when the season started, he was only 17 years old, and we have seen ex-NBA players struggle quite a bit in their first season in the EuroLeague, so we can't judge the kid too much. After quite a difficult season last year, Victor decided to move to a new club, Metropolitans 92. Now, Metropolitans don't play in the EuroLeague, nor in any other international competition, which allowed Victor to relax a bit, as the French league is nowhere near as competitive as the EuroLeague, and essentially, you have only two strong teams, in Lyon as well, and Monaco, both of which play in the EuroLeague also, instead of playing 2 or 3 games a week, which probably will help him to evade any injuries before the draft, as the number 1 pick is pretty much guaranteed. Victor doesn't have an obvious weakness. He's 7'4", can dribble well enough to not make too many turnovers, he can shoot from the 3-point range and the mid-range, he has a sweet pullback that I have never seen any player of anywhere near his size to have. He can also drive to the basket. Have you noticed something? He has the skill set of a guard, while being 7'4" with an 8-foot wingspan. It sounds like he's the perfect player straight out of 2K, but there's more to the story. I know that the media posts his highlights and tries to show you that he's a completely unstoppable force that we have never seen before. And yes, we haven't seen such a player before, but currently, he's definitely stoppable. Even though he's over 7 foot tall, he has an extremely weak body. And even when he was playing against G League Ignite, we saw him struggling whenever the opposing players got physical with him. Even guards were able to stop him at points of the game. That is how you stop him right now. You get physical with him, and don't allow him to feel comfortable. If he struggled against the physicality of G League Ignite, just imagine what some of the NBA centers will do to him. So you shouldn't expect Victor to step into the NBA and dominate from the first season, as we've seen Luka do. He's a long-term project, and it might even take 2 or 3 years for him to finally be ready for the NBA basketball. So the question becomes, why are NBA teams tanking to get him? Well, the answer is simple. When he will figure out his body, there will be no weakness in his game, and he will be an unstoppable force that we haven't seen before. But there's also a small caveat to all that upside, and that is the fact that he will likely to become all of that if he stays healthy. And for me personally, that's a big question mark, because players with similar bodies to his, like Porzingis, can't stay healthy throughout his career. And even Chet Holmgren got injured before even playing a single NBA game, and he's out for the entire season. So Victor Wembanyama is definitely a high risk, high reward type of situation. The one positive that we can already see is that the kid is definitely a hard worker, as last season he didn't have the moves that he has now, and he has become a better passer and a better shooter that we have seen last season. But there is still a lot to improve in those areas, as well as decision making. Also, currently, Victor has pretty much no back to the basket game, and he has to develop that if he wants to be a successful player in the NBA. But considering that the NBA is good at developing such skill, and he has good ball handling ability, as well as good footwork, it's only a matter of time before he figures that out. The only thing that annoys me about the hype that he's getting built around him are tweets like that. Even though, yes, he did all of that, but it's clear the narrative they are setting, as Le Mans were only undefeated because at that point there were only 4 regular season games played, and by no means are they a good team. Also, the game wasn't that important because it was just a simple regular season game. Don't get me wrong, I like the kid and want the kid to succeed, but I've seen the media set up these kids like they're the new Michael Jordan just to generate the most money out of them as possible, and if their career goes sideways, they instantly start making fun of the teams that drafted them, as well as the players themselves for not performing as they expected them to. And I'm just a bit tired of the cycle repeating every other year. So to wrap the video up, Victor Wembanyama is definitely an all-time talent and maybe the greatest NBA prospect of all time, but he won't dominate the NBA in his first season, and you shouldn't have the expectations for him to do so. However, after 2 to 3 years, if he stays healthy, we will see a Swiss Army knife that we haven't seen before. If you enjoyed the video, press the like and the subscribe button, and see you in the future content.